Good morning.
If you've got a question for Pat, go ahead and use the raise hand tool. Those of you just joining us, if you need access to record, let me know that as well. Russ, you're up first, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Pat. What did you think of the contributions Traore made against Georgia Tech, and what do you expect the rest of the season from him?
What do I expect the rest of the season is him to be a hard playing, very productive player. I thought he gave us good minutes. He played 20 minutes. We had foul trouble with Javon throughout the game. He had darn near a double-double, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Played very hard, gave us good minutes. Like everybody, had some missed assignments in the second half defensively, but he wasn't the only one. But overall, I thought he gave us a good performance.
Thanks.
Matt McGavage, go ahead.
Hey Pat, you said in the post game that the first thing you're going to do when you got on the bus was open up the laptop and see what kind of went wrong and start diving into the film. Other than the fact that you said that they screened and switched a lot more than you expected, was there anything that you picked up in that initial film review session that you maybe didn't pick up in real time?
Uh, obviously what jumped off the page to me was, the turnovers and obviously us knocking down free throws to our normal rate. That was obvious. And I thought that was a big culprit in the game, but you got to give them credit for that. I thought, they played a much cleaner game, had over a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, very close to that. And in the second half, especially, we turned the ball over way too much. First half, we were pretty good. We were 1.5 to 1. But for the game ended up negative. And, you just can't do that on the road. They shot too high of a percentage from the field. And we didn't get stops when we needed to. And then we had some untimely turnovers, but you credit them for that.
Corey Bosmer.
Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Boston College had a tough come from behind victory this past weekend. What challenges do you see their arena and fans and their team presenting to you, your staff and players?
Yeah, I mean they're playing very well. They took Carolina to overtime, won a big game the other day. Just gutted out a really gutsy win, and that's the way that Coach Grant's teams play all the time. This one is no different. They're extremely tough, competitive, big, strong, physical, and a very dangerous team.
All right, I got a quick follow-up, Coach. Friday at the presser, I asked you about how important it is to handle success. I want to ask you the flip side of that. How important is it being able to handle adversity?
Yeah, I mean they're both important. That's what I've talked about all year long. The season is a lifetime, as you guys have heard me say many times. Every single team deals with stuff, and that stuff can be good. That stuff can be bad. That can be adversity with injuries. That could be a punch in the mouth with a tough loss. It could be an exhilarating win at the buzzer, which we've had. It could be a stretch of a bunch of games in a row where the scoreboard was on our right side by the end of it. And I think all teams go through those things. And the most important thing is that we stay extremely consistent, which, is, I think, a hallmark of this team. And I've told all of you that have asked me before about this team, and that they're extremely steady. Through the ups and downs, they've just been very process oriented. And Georgia Tech got the better of us the other day. They were the better team on that day from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Saturday, February 2nd, whatever it was. But how we respond today at practice. I know we had a great weight room session this morning, individual workout session. We'll have film, then practice. And my bet, because I know these guys really well, is, they'll have excellence in our process today. And we need to, because Boston College is playing very well coached, very talented. So we got to have a couple great days of preparation, go into a tough place to play, and figure out a way to get a road win.
Thank you, Coach.
Go next to Brooks Holton.
Hey, Pat. Rain was held to a season low 6 shot attempts on Saturday. I'm just wondering, was there anything that stood out when you watched the way Georgia Tech defended him, that they were able to, keep his shots down like that?
Yeah, he's a pretty highlighted part of our opponent's scouting reports, obviously, and Rain has had some terrific games throughout the course of the whole year, especially here recently. And like any good team, they're going to prep to take away strengths and take away things. And I thought they did a really good job of defending him.
Back to Matt McGavich.
Pat, obviously the Georgia Tech game was on the road, but there was a massive contingent of Louisville fans that made the trip down there. What was your reaction upon seeing the literal busloads of Cards fans down there? And have you ever seen a road takeover quite like that in your coaching career?
Probably not. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that, but our fan base never ceases to amaze me with their passion, for our program. In every sport, there's teams that travel. I hate when I always talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers because I give Coach Tomlin a ton of credit because I'm a big fan of his. But the Steelers, when they go into road venues, you see those darn yellow towels being waved everywhere. I'm a big baseball fan, Cincinnati Reds fan, and the Cubs travel so well. It feels like a home game sometime at Great American Ballpark. And I think most people around college basketball would say Louisville has that type of passion, that type of fan base. So we really appreciate the effort that they all made from coming down from Louisville and cheered their butts off. And we hate that we let them down, but doesn't surprise me.
Rick Bozich, go ahead.
Yeah, Pat, you followed Coach Grant to Charleston. I wondered if you had any connection to him and thoughts on what kind of distinguishes his style of play and his approach to coaching.
Yeah, Coach Grant and I don't know each other all too well. We definitely are acquaintances, especially because of our connection to College of Charleston and the city of Charleston. I mean, that's where he grew up and he was born and raised. And the big thing I can tell you from being down in Charleston for 3 years and following in Coach Grant's footsteps is what a class act he is and how respected he is in that town. Everybody that you talk to just sings his praises in terms of his character. So I know he's a phenomenal person, and obviously his body of work in coaching speaks to itself. His teams are always extremely disciplined. They are always tough and really physical and really buttoned up defensively. And then, they really attack you on the offensive end as well. So he's got a great pedigree in coaching. He's coached under some great coaches, and his climb to where he is right now has been fun to watch. He was no fun to follow down at Charleston just because of the success that he had. But I know we're in for a dogfight.
Any further questions for Pat? Seeing none. Coach, thank you. Appreciate it. See you next week.
All right. Thank you.